Good morning. So it is 2008, and I'm in Lesotho. And there I learned a business lesson that was one of the most impactful things I've ever learned in my career, and I've applied it going forward. Now, you might be wondering two questions right now. One, what's the lessons? And two, where's Lesotho? I'll show you. If we go from Treefort Music Hall, where we are now, all the way around the world to South Africa, Lesotho is a small country of about 2 million people inside of South Africa. Now, I was there doing some work at an orphanage. We were building various projects, working on some improvements and help for the orphanage. And one of the biggest things that we were putting in was a well. Now, Lesotho has inconsistent electricity. That's putting it nicely, especially at the time. And one thing that we wanted is to make sure that their source of water, right, was not reliant on electricity, right? And so we wanted it so that when they ran out of power, they still had a source of water. Now, if you're thinking on this, there's a lot of options for pumps that don't require electricity. And what happens there is you're probably thinking about something like a hand pump, right? You might see this in a campground. You might see this in, this might be totally fine, right? If you are up for camping for the weekend, you don't need a lot of water. But this is not going to work if you're trying to provide water for hundreds of people. And I want to take a second and look at the physics of this, right? Look at what happens. When I am pumping up and down, right, every downward stroke on this gets me water. On the upward stroke, nothing happens, right? We're not getting any water right here. Now, this is directly tied to your energy. If I stop putting in an energy, I stop getting an output. That's not what we installed. We installed something called a flywheel. Now, the flywheel is this large metal wheel that sits on top of the pump, and it is really difficult to move at first. And actually, when we got this installed, what happened was we got it set up, and I was trying to turn it to get it going, and it was too hard for me to turn by myself. And my friend Luke came over, and so both of us are turning it. We're leaning into it and pushing it as hard as we can in order to turn it. Then as it starts going, it gets easier and easier. And over time, it gets to the point where Luke steps away. I'm able to spin it. I can do it with one hand. And then eventually I can do it with one finger. And this is just pumping more and more water. But there's a couple important things about this. One, it's a circular motion, right? So it's carrying my momentum forward, and the effort that I put in carries through. And two, it starts with very little output, but then that grows over time. Now, if you compare these two things, these two water pumps side by side, they're very different. You get immediate results from the hand pump, delayed results from the flywheel, but once this is running, is absolutely what you want is the flywheel. Now, as you're trying to understand the flywheel, there's three laws that really define this. First, activities flow smoothly from one into the next. It's not the up and down, one at a time action of a hand pump. It's a rotation. It's continuous. Two, each rotation is easier than the previous rotation. And number three, each rotation produces more than the previous rotation. And so it's actually really interesting. If you put 2 and 3 together, this is kind of mind-blowing to me because you're like, wait, I'm going to put in less and less effort over time and get more and more results? How does that even work? Well, it actually works in real life in physics, and it works with this concept. So you might be thinking about this and you're like, okay, Nathan, we're talking about wells and water pumps, and what does this have to do with anything? Well, this is what's known as a metaphor. And the goal of this speech is to help you build a business that is less hand pump and more flywheel. So let's dive in and talk about flywheels as it means in your creative business. I want to talk about the endless content flywheel. Wouldn't it be great if you could have something that just generated ideas for you, coming up with content ideas for your weekly newsletter, all of this, right? The more you write, the more ideas it gives you. And you're probably thinking, this is some new AI thing. Nope, this is pretty straightforward. This is the content idea flywheel. And the way that it works is as you have new subscribers coming into your audience, you're sending them a welcome sequence. I think most of you do this already. But what you do is a few emails into that sequence, you ask a question. You say, hey, what's your biggest frustration with learning how to learn this topic, right? I was teaching software design. So what's your biggest frustration learning how to design iPhone apps? Hit reply and let me know. What happens is as people sign up, they come through, they get this email, they hit reply, and then you find a way to capture those responses. And that could be just a label in Gmail, or you get really fancy and you could zap them over to an Airtable and keep track of it some other way. But either way, you end up with this library of responses. And so from there, when you have your Tuesday newsletter that you have been preaching to everyone that you need to be consistent sending it out, I may or may not be talking to myself here. And then on Monday night, you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to send. What should I do? Well, you pull up this great library of frustrations that your readers have. You go to it, you say, oh, this one seems interesting. Let me help this person. Write content just for them. Send it out, promote it on social. That gets you new subscribers and on from there. So if we think about the principles of the flywheel, this is making it much easier for me to write and run a newsletter. But then also, the more subscribers I get, the more frustrations people are sharing with me, which gives me more ideas for content, which gives me more subscribers, which gives me more frustrations and more ideas for content, and on, and it spins faster and faster and faster. The second one I want to talk about is a podcast flywheel. Who's been a guest on a podcast before? A decent number of people. It's pretty amazing for growing your audience when you're a guest on a podcast. Like, you can get in front of someone else's audience. So many of us have set out and said, I would love to be a guest on more podcasts, but that's hard to do. Maybe one day I'll make a list of all these podcasts that I want to be on, and then I'll message them, and then I'll get distracted with something else, and I'll get some replies back, and then a few weeks later I'll be like, oh, I should follow up, and we're back and forth, and we're doing the hand pump version of this. And instead I want you to do the flywheel version. So the way the flywheel works is first we go on a podcast. We get that guest appearance that we pitched or someone asked us to come on. Now what happens next, we deliver a great interview, as we always do. Then we record we get a transcript made, and we go through and make clips. And you might be thinking, Nathan, this isn't your podcast. What are you doing? This is someone else's podcast. Why are you transcribing someone else's podcast? And it's because I want to make this the best possible result, and I want to fuel this flywheel. So I'm going through the transcript, and I'm finding the best moments, and I'm turning those into clips. And then I'm rewriting the content and the ideas that were shared both by me and the host, and I'm putting that out into my newsletter, into blog posts. Then from there, I'm promoting all of those on social media. And then that starts to spread, and people see like, wow, when Nathan is on a podcast, it's a popular episode. Maybe, just maybe, we should have him on more podcasts. And then the host looks through their analytics, and they're saying like, oh, this is one of the most popular podcasts that we've done, and so on. It spreads from there. And that results in more podcast interviews. So instead of doing the scattered flywheel or scattered hand pump approach, I'm turning it into a flywheel that I do for every single guest appearance that I do. Now, the goal of all of this is to grow an audience. And so that begs the question that we've been thinking about, or that I think about all the time, which is what's the best way to drive subscriber growth? The bigger the audience, the better living that we can earn. Now, if you talk to YouTubers in particular, they'll say that collaborations are one of the best ways to grow. And it's fantastic. If you partner with other creators, you produce content together, you promote it to each other's audiences, you're both going to grow. Working together is a really huge and important thing. They're right. Collaborations are amazing. But if we go through the process here, we have to find a creator. We have to plan a partnership, see if they're even interested. We have to plan out this collaboration, and then we need to create the content. We need to track the results. Was it worthwhile? And then repeat that process, and it's scattered. It's around here. This sounds exhausting. I was like, hey, let's do collaborations every week, every month. I don't think I have time to do that and create content for my own audience. Like, this isn't possible. This is a hand pump in action. The problem with this is that our results are directly tied to our output. We're all human. What happens is we have the best intentions and then something happens, right? We get sick, something comes up with our family, whatever else. And as we lose energy and momentum, the results go with it. So, what's the flywheel version of collaborating with other creators? That's what we've built with the ConvertKit Creator Network. So the Creator Network is a way to partner with creators and grow much faster together. And I want to show you a quick video walking through it.
With ConvertKit's Creator Network, you can grow your list faster without working harder by joining forces with your fellow creators. The Creator Network is all about increasing your newsletter's visibility, building the number of creator connections you have, and most importantly, growing your email list. Here's how it works. Dive in and explore the Creator Network. It's the only place you'll find such a wide range of creators in different niches. Search for creators you know, or use the filters to discover creators you don't know yet, and check out their profiles. If you think your audience would benefit from their content, add them to your list of recommendations. Now, when new subscribers sign up to your list, they'll see the creators you recommend and can easily subscribe to their list. And the same thing happens when you're recommended. As the creators recommending you get new followers on their list, your list gets a boost too.
I've grown like 76%.
I've gained over 500 subscribers.
More than 1,000 subscribers just in a few weeks.
Everything is in your control. There's no algorithm or constant emails from the platform bothering your subscribers. Just creators supporting creators, as it should be. Join creators just like you to grow your newsletter faster without working harder.
Pretty cool, right? So we've been running the beta now for a few months. We've seen some incredible results where at every size of creators, people are seeing growing 50 to sometimes 100% faster with the same amount of effort. And this has been from the smallest creators even to some of the largest creators on ConvertKit. So Ryan Holiday told me a few weeks ago, he says the Creator Network is now driving more new subscribers for Daily Stoic than all other traffic sources combined. And he is very good at driving traffic. And so this is amazing that we've been able to do this. But one of my favorite examples is seeing how creators work together. And there was this moment that happened on Twitter a little while ago that just brought me a lot of joy. And that was between Josh Spector and Jay Klaus. And so Josh is on Twitter and he posts a screenshot and he goes, I got a lot of subscribers today. And in the screenshot, you can see he got like 500 subscribers that day. And he's like, what happened? And then Jay pops up and goes, hey, that was me. I've been recommending you. They're in a little pod recommending each other. And Jay went viral on LinkedIn that day. He had a thread or a post that really took off, and he picked up over 1,000 subscribers, and Josh got more than 500 from that. And so what I love about this is that as your effort as a creator goes up and down, it might be inconsistent, right? Your friends can come right alongside you and promote you. So I might have something that shares and goes viral one day, and then I might have a few weeks of not much coming out. But then Jay or someone else in my community who's recommending me might even that out. And so we are all in this together because we've got this flywheel that's working for us. Because there's a lot of times that you might be too tired in your creator journey to be pumping water. And so when you have that flywheel, you have other people bringing that life-giving source to you. A lot of the most important moments in my creator journey came from other people taking a chance on me. Malcolm Gladwell has this quote he just talks about, it's kind of the theory that drives a lot of his writing. It says, who is not famous, but should be? And something that I love about the Creator Network is it gives you this ability, if you have an audience, even if you're growing 10, 20 subscribers a day, even up to hundreds or more, you now have this ability to say, who is not famous but should be? Whose work do I want to amplify and promote? Who do I want to pay it forward? And so you have that opportunity to do it with other people built right into the platform. Something that I get asked a lot on podcasts is, over the last 10 years of building ConvertKit, what has changed in the creator community? There's a lot that's the same, right? We still have the same 3 forms of content, right? Written, audio, and video. That's not different. So what has changed? And when I think about who the biggest names, 10 years ago, I think about people like Leo Babauta, who wrote Zen Habits, right? Time magazine named Zen Habits one of the top 25 websites that makes the internet great. He was absolutely at the top of his game. And at the time in 2011, 2012, he had about 20,000 subscribers. Now, if you think about the biggest creators now, they have hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of subscribers, right? James Clear is over 2 million subscribers. So it's an crazy growth. So one thing that we see is that the audience size has changed entirely. People in this room are growing audiences that are remarkably bigger than anything that was possible 10 years ago. And the crazy thing about that is that we're still only a tiny portion of the internet population that is actively reading newsletters and consuming content, right? The market is huge and we're in this tiny world. And so what we're doing through this is making it so much easier for creators to get discovered and for subscribers and fans to find a new creator that they love and get attached to. So we're solving discovery and distribution. And what this means is that we're bringing in new people, growing audience sizes, and we're all getting that much closer to earning a living. Because when one creator wins, all creators win. Now, there's another thing that I see a lot of professional creators doing that works really well to grow their business, and that's to spend on advertising to grow faster, right? You get to the point where you know what a subscriber is worth to you, and you are saying, okay, now I can advertise to reach more people. If we walk through this process, usually we end up running ads on a CPM basis. This means paying for every 1,000 views. And then from there, we're driving traffic to a landing page. So we have a conversion rate right here. And then from the landing page over to subscribers, that's going to convert at a certain rate depending on what our offer is, how good our copywriting is, how good the targeting is for the audience. And then from a subscriber, some number of those are going to become engaged subscribers. There's 2 problems with this. First, that's a lot of variables to navigate as a creator. It's unpredictable and it's hard to calculate. You're taking on a lot of risk from spending money at that end all the way through to getting your result here at this end. What happens if you don't get results? The second problem is that all of this money is going to big social networks. There's nothing indie or creator focused about this. So when I think about how I want to take the money that I'm earning and reinvest it in growth, who would be better to pay? I could pay Mark Zuckerberg to grow my business. Or who else? Who is good at getting views and pointing that attention, those views, at things they care about? I'm really not sure. No, the people in this room, creators, right? Would I rather pay the big tech companies to grow my business, or would I rather pay the creators that I'm friends with, that I know, that I'm fans with their content, where I can have my money that's being spent to grow my business to go directly to help them grow their business? And so with that, we're launching 2 new things. And the first is a new way to earn a living, and the second is a new way to grow your audience. I said 2 things. It's actually 1 thing. And that's paid recommendations. So inside of the Creator Network, you now have the ability to run your own ads and to say, this is what I'd like to pay to grow my audience. If I'm investing in my business, I say what I want to pay for an engaged subscriber. I will pay $2 for every engaged subscriber that someone refers to me. I create my listing talking about my newsletter, why my content is great, why you should want to refer to me. And then creators come through and start recommending me. Now, on the flip side, if you want to earn a living through this, then as a creator, you browse through the paid recommendations, you find creators that you're a fan of and you like their work, you see what they're paying for every engaged subscriber, and you add that in and you start getting paid. The way this shows up is inside of the Creator Network, I can have my free recommendations, and then I can also choose any of the paid recommendations, and I can get paid $1, $2, $3, $5, whatever that creator is paying for every engaged subscriber. The math on this is pretty crazy. So on average, you're going to earn, if you filled all of those slots with paid recommendations, then on average, you're going to earn $3 for every new subscriber you get. So that means that if you are getting one new subscriber a day, that's going to turn into $1,000 a year of earning for you. 10 new subscribers a day would be about $10,000 a year in earnings. And 100 new subscribers a day coming through this would result in about $100,000 a year in income for you as a creator. That's pretty transformational. Now, you might be thinking about this and be going, this kind of sounds familiar. Does anyone have that experience? Yeah, maybe? If this sounds like Sparkloop, you'd be correct. The team at Sparkloop has built this amazing business around what they call a partner network. And they've got the #1 newsletter growth platform. And that is what's powering all of our paid recommendations. So over the last few months, we've been working on a deep integration with their product. And we just kept getting more and more excited about what they built and the potential and the connection with ConvertKit. And so we decided not just limit it to a partnership. So I'm very excited to announce today that we've acquired Sparkloop. So we're bringing them into the ConvertKit family to build the largest advertising network for creators. And it's allowing creators to earn a living in an entirely new way. Now, the Sparkloop team has built something really incredible. And up to this point, they've already paid out over $1 million to creators in just a few short months. This is growing between 30 and 40% a month. And now this is connected with the entire ConvertKit ecosystem. And so I expect it to grow like crazy from here. The other thing about this that I absolutely love is it's an open marketplace. So even though ConvertKit and Sparkloop are now fully integrated in one company, we're keeping it open to all brands and all other email platforms. And so what that means is that creators on ConvertKit have access to earn a living, not just from other creators on ConvertKit, but from all of these major brands, right? 1440 and Front Office Sports and MarketBeat and so many others are active sponsors on the network, even though ConvertKit's not the best tool for their business, right? They can be on any of these other email platforms and be sponsoring on ConvertKit. And that means that ConvertKit creators will have access to the best newsletters in order to earn a living across every platform. So there's integrations with over 15 email providers right now, and that's going to keep growing. So on either side, it's live today. If you want to earn a living, go browse the marketplace, set up your account, and connect all of that. And then if you want to reinvest in your business and you want to pay other creators, then if you're investing at least $5,000 a month, then the Sparkloop team and the ConvertKit team can help you get set up with that listing. I set this up 2 weeks ago and have already been seeing all of these great leads come into my audience and a lot of great sales coming from it as well. So it's been really fun. The reason for the $5,000 cap is that there's a lot of people who want in. And so we're starting there and going from there. So we've been building the best way to earn a living as a creator. First, that starts with ConvertKit Commerce. That's where you can sell any product that you want to your audience, whether it's coaching or an ebook or a song or anything else, right? You can sell to your audience. Second is the sponsor network, where we'll help you get paid advertising and we'll help you work with brands and monetize in that way. And then now we're adding the third leg to that stool, which is paid recommendations. So we believe that you should earn a living in the way that's the best for you. And it's different for each creator. As you talk to people throughout this event, you'll find that people are earning a living in entirely different ways. Their business model looks completely different if they're a food blogger with 100,000 subscribers versus if they're an investing newsletter and podcast with 5,000 subscribers. And so rather than saying this is the one way that you should earn a living as a creator, we're saying do it any way you like. We will support that, both in our own platform and in open integrations with basically every other e-commerce platform. So I'm going to talk for a little bit about the sponsor network, which is something that we launched this time last year. And when we rolled it out, we knew it would be popular. We didn't realize just how popular it would be. Our mission is to help creators earn a living, and we didn't quite realize how much help everyone needed. So over the last year, we've paid out $1.3 million to creators. Thank you. And we've brought that to as many people as possible, but the demand is just so much higher than what we could serve. And so we've been really working behind the scenes actually for the last year to scale that up. And so I'm really happy to announce today that we're launching programmatic advertising. And so what this means is that we can bring in every single creator on our wait list. We've now completely flipped where we went from having more creators than brands. We actually have more brands interested than creators. And what this means is that you can embed ads in your newsletter, and then the ad network will go through and find the best brand for that subscriber and put it directly in there. We're launching this in partnership with a company called Live Intent, and we're really excited about what this means for how creators can earn a living. So it brings this entire new advertising channel. There's no minimum list size. You get a guaranteed fill rate, like we can fill every spot in your newsletter, and we're working with hundreds of major trusted brands. Now, I've probably said the word network like 15 times or more in this talk. And the reason is that earning a living as a creator has been a solo activity for a long time. You did it by yourself. Your account didn't talk to other accounts, right? We're on social networks, but then there's, we use email separately. It's not actually connected to other creators. And really what we're switching, and the entire mindset change that we're doing around email, is to go from solo to multiplayer mode. And that's what the creator network is doing. That's what the sponsor network is doing, is really bringing the power of all of these creators to be able to sell and bring in advertising deals that you couldn't get individually. And then now with paid recommendations, it's all about who's your community on the platform. So there's one other thing that we're working on now is the creator marketplace. And so what this is a place for you to discover new ways to level up your marketing with help from other creators. So you've always been able to share any landing page that you make and any automation that you make with other creators. But now you can share every email template and every design. So our new editor has these really powerful design features. And what you can do is you can design an email template in your account, and you can now share it with someone else. If you're an affiliate and you're promoting, here are the best practices in email marketing, here are my favorite templates, right? You can share all of that with whoever you want. Let me show you how it works. When you design a new email template, you just go to the share button up in the top right. You say, hey, anyone with this link can access. You copy that, and if you promote it in your email or anywhere else, someone comes to this page, they get to preview the template, and they just hit use this template, and they get to import it into their account. So building up to the launch of this, we've been working with a lot of talented designers. We've got a ton of new templates that they've been putting out. And it's a range of things. Some people are releasing these templates for free and saying, hey, if you join my list, or I just made this and I want to share it, any other things. That's happening a lot now. And then you can also sell templates through ConvertKit Commerce. So whether that's landing pages, emails, automations. And here's what that means. You now have the best conversion experts sharing landing page designs. You've got the best workflow experts sharing their automation templates. And you have the best designers saying, hey, here are the best visual designs for your emails. So this can be free to use, or you can say, you know what? I want to earn a living selling templates. I want to be a part of this ecosystem. And we're excited for that to take off. So the email templates and the sharing experience is live now. And over the next few weeks, we're looking for more and more designers who want to design those out and start sharing and selling templates, and contact our team and we'll help you promote those. We've talked a lot in this talk about Flywheels. And I just want to review that for a second and go back to the three laws of the flywheel. So first, activities should flow smoothly from one into the next. Second, each rotation should be easier than the previous rotation. And third, each rotation should produce more. I'm going to give you one example of a creator who has taken all of these parts that we've built into ConvertKit to power a flywheel for you. And he's put it together in an amazing way for results that still blow me away. And that's Sahil Bloom, who you'll hear about later today. And Sahil is working on a book that he wants to get these ideas out to as many people as possible. So he has his book deal with Penguin Random House, and his goal is to grow to 1 million subscribers by the time this book is released, which is a crazy goal. He had less than 100,000 subscribers when he set the goal. And I want to walk you through his 1 million subscriber flywheel. So first, he focuses a lot on growth on social media. So he's built an audience on Twitter, and then he also uses LinkedIn and Instagram. And every new subscriber that comes in then flows straight into the creator network, where he has relationships with other creators and says, hey, let's partner to grow faster. So that means that he gets this multiplication effect on every new subscriber because he's recommending that they check out other creators that are friends of his, and they're recommending check out him. And so that means that it's growing faster. Goes from there into his newsletter. He sends 2 emails a week, and he puts a lot of time and effort into writing a great newsletter. Through the sponsor network, we sell advertising in his newsletter for him. We line up brand sponsorships. And then he takes all of that money, right? He has a singular goal, grow this to 1 million subscribers who love my newsletter. And so he takes all of that and he goes to, let's see where I stand on the stage. There we go. He's going to go take all of the money that he makes and he reinvests it in paid recommendations. So he says, I will pay $1.50 for every engaged subscriber that someone sends to me. And a bunch of his readers are creators. And so they're like, absolutely, I would recommend this for free, but yes, if you'll actually pay me as well, that sounds amazing. And then that goes into giving him more new subscribers and so on. So the rules of a flywheel. We have a continuous loop. It gets easier with each rotation. And third, it produces more. An early rotation of this flywheel would produce 5,000 subscribers a month. That's fantastic, right? But as it accelerates, as he gets more new subscribers, his newsletter gets bigger, which means that sponsorships get sold for more. So he's making more money, which means that he has a larger budget to reinvest in growth, which means that he is getting more new subscribers and so on. So that early rotation goes from delivering 5,000 subscribers to now a rotation of this flywheel in a single month is like 35 to 40,000 subscribers that it's driving. And it is absolutely blowing up. And so what we're excited to do is these tools that we've designed with, these professional creators who are at the highest level, now they're baked into the platform. And so everyone has access to them and everyone can use the same tools to build a flywheel that works like this at whatever scale you're at. So today we've announced a lot of ways to earn a living as a creator. First, the Creator Network is going to help you grow faster. Paid recommendations are going to help you grow faster or earn more money, whichever side you want. We've got programmatic ads, so you can have a guaranteed fill rate in your newsletter and have a lot of brand sponsorship deals. And then finally, the ability to sell designs, landing pages, and anything else that you would like. And that brings me to my one point, the whole reason that we do this. ConvertKit is now the best place to earn a living as a creator. Thank you.